Hello students, welcome to the new lecture session on piston. Myself Shanko Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Automobile Engineering Department at Dr. Sudhir Chandra Sood Degree Engineering College under the JIS group. Today we will discuss on piston, which is taken from the module number 2. Name of the module is Constructional Features, Functions and the Working of the Automobile Engine Component. This topic is taken from the subject of automobile engine, and this is the second year, third semester diploma in automobile students subjects. So students, before starting this piston, the module number 2, first part of our cylinder block, which is discussed in the previous two classes. So now today we'll start the discussion on the piston. So students, let's start the discussion on piston. Introduction. A piston is a cylindrical engine. A piston is a cylindrical engine which is cylindrical engine component that slides back and the forth in the cylinder bore by force the produced during the combustion process. So since piston is a cylindrical engine component which slides back and forth in the cylinder bore by forces produces during the combustion process. The piston basically acts as a movable end of the combustion chamber. The stationary end of the combustion chamber is cylinder head. Students, here as you can see as the picture of the engine piston, and is the engine one and a cross-sectional view of one side. So this one is the piston head, this is the piston crown, these are the piston ring groups, these are the oil holes, this one is the piston skirt, this one is the piston pin groove, this one is the piston pin boss, and this one is the supporting web. So these are the cross-sectional view of the piston. A piston is a component a piston is a component of a reciprocating engine, reciprocating pumps, gas compressor, hydraulic cylinders, pneumatic cylinder, and among other similar mechanisms. So it is a moving component. It is a moving component which is contained by a cylinder, and it is made gas tight, and it is made the gas tight by the piston rings. In an engine, its purpose is to transfer force from expanding gas in the cylinder to the crankshaft via a connecting rod. In a pump, the function is reversed. And force is transferred from the crankshaft to the piston for the purpose of the compressing or ejecting the fluid in the cylinder. In some engines, the piston also acts as a valve by covering and uncovering ports in the cylinder. Now next second one is the piston slap. Piston slap is a sound. Piston slap is a sound which is made when the skirt of the piston when the skirt of the piston contact contact with the wall of the cylinder. As the piston pivots slightly in the upward or the downward travel. So as you can see in this picture, this one is the piston. When it is moves, this one is the piston skirt. It touches the cylinder wall. When it is touched, there is some noise is occurred or sound is occurred. This sound basically is called as the piston slap, and this will occur if the skirt area of the piston is worn so as to increase the clearance in between the piston and the cylinder wall, or if the piston was machined for a loose fit in the bore. Due to this reason, the piston slap is occurred. The latter is often done, especially when the forged aluminium piston are used. When forged aluminium pistons are used, then when the engine is built for the high performance, for an example of the dragster, so due to this reason, this slap is occurs. And the reason for doing this that it is expected that the piston will expand when it hits up, and decreasing the clearance in the bore. Piston slap is heard. The piston slap is heard more often, and it is more noticeable on the cold engine. Basically, piston material is expand after getting the heat. So material is expanded due to the heat. So when it is expand, the clearance will be decreases in between the piston skirt and the cylinder wall. But during the cold engine, it was some more gap is there, and due to that cold engine, the piston slap is heard more. There are some engine, for an example, some of GMLS engine that commonly exhibit the piston slap. There is no way to eliminate it other than by tearing the engine down and completely rebuilding it. So doing that, however, it is recommended. Other than the sound, the piston slap is those engine really doesn't matter. It is not a reliability issue. In the other engines, the sudden occurrence of the piston slap in an engine and that did not exhibit it before would be sign of piston or the cylinder wear, which is caused either by the excessive mileage or by improper or neglected maintenance. Example: failure to change the oil at the recommended interval, and failure to change oil at the recommended interval, or using an oil below the specification set by the manufacturer. Below the specification set by the manufacturer. Now coming to the next, that is piston clearance. Piston clearance is the clearance or a gap in between the piston and the cylinder wall, which to avoid the damage, which is used to avoid the damage due to the excessive expansion of the piston on getting heated during the combustion. So this is also known as the piston or bore clearance. In generally, piston is made up of cast aluminum alloy. In generally, piston is made up of cast aluminum alloy for the good thermal conductivity. So on heating, aluminum expand more than the metal cylinder. So proper piston cylinder is necessary. To maintain free piston movement in the cylinder. So student, as you can see in this picture, this is the cylinder wall, this one is the piston, and there is a gap in between this piston skirt and the cylinder wall. And this clearance is known as the piston clearance or the bore clearance. If the piston clearance is too small, then on getting heated, a piston will seized inside the cylinder on more expansion, and piston will get too tight inside the cylinder, and resulting in excessive friction loss. Piston can damage the cylinder wall. So students, if the piston clearance is too small, if the piston clearance is too small, then the piston will seize inside the cylinder or more expansion. Number one. Number two, the piston will get too tight inside the cylinder. So due to this, excessive friction loss occurs. This is the number two. And number three is piston can damage the cylinder wall. Now, if the piston clearance is too large, then the piston will move back and forth very freely, and resulting in engine knock and may even damage the piston skirt. Number two, large clearance may also reduce the sealing property of the compression ring to seal the compression chamber. So students, if the piston clearance is too large, then piston will move back and forth very easily. So due to this, engine knock or the piston slap is occurs. If the piston slap is occurred, it means the piston skirts may be damaged. So number one. And number two is the large clearance may also reduce the sealing property of the compression ring to seal the compression chamber, and due to this, efficiency of the engine will be reduced. So therefore we need to maintain a proper piston clearance. Next is the piston material. The material of pistons include cast iron, cast steel, and the aluminium alloy, of which cast iron is the most common material. The cast ability of the cast iron is good. The cast ability of the cast iron the cast ability of cast iron is good, and it has enough strength and the stiffness. It has enough strength and the stiffness, which expansion coefficient is smaller, and the good wear resistance and the corrosion resistance. Moreover, the cost of the cast iron is lower, but its weight is heavy. Thermal conductivity is smaller. Heat absorption is about 30% higher than the aluminium alloy. And the weight of the aluminium alloy is lighter. Thermal conductivity is bigger. It has quick heat dissipation, but its strength, wearing resistance are worse. Expansion coefficient is bigger and easy for expand and jammed inside the. Now coming to the advantage of the aluminium piston. Coming to the advantage of the aluminium pistons over the cast iron pistons are: number one is lighter. Engine can be revved higher and less vibration, and the aluminium piston has a better tensile strength than the cast iron. Number two, it conducts heat better. Number three, it can be pressure die cast, so more likely to be a consistent weight and the less balancing required. Number 4, it does not require aging. Number 5, easier to machine with the less dust given up. So these are the advantages of the aluminium piston over the cast iron piston. Next is piston ring. A piston ring is a metallic split ring. Piston ring is a metallic split ring that is attached to the outer diameter of the piston in an internal combustion engine. The main function of the piston rings in engines are: the main function of the piston rings in engine are: number 1, sealing the combustion chamber so that there is minimal loss of gases, to the crankcase. Number 2, it's improving the heat transfer from the piston to the cylinder wall. Number 3, it maintaining the proper quantity of oil in between the piston and the cylinder wall. Number 4, it regulating the engine oil consumption by scrapping oil from the cylinder walls back to the sump. So most of the piston rings are made of cast iron or steel. The piston ring are commonly used in engine. The piston ring are commonly used in engine include 3 types. Number 1, compression ring. Number 2, wiper ring, and number 3 is oil ring. Compression ring is the piston ring which is located in the ring groove. Compression ring which is located in the ring groove which is closest to the piston head. The compression ring basically seals the combustion chamber from any leakage during the combustion process. When the air fuel mixture is ignited, the pressure from combustion gases, is applied to the piston head, and forcing the piston toward the crankshaft. The pressurized gas, this pressurized gas travel throughout the gap. This pressurized gases travel throughout the gap in between the cylinder wall and the piston and into the piston ring grooves also. The combustion gas pressure forces the piston ring. The combustion gas pressure forces the piston ring against the cylinder wall to form a seal. This pressure applied to the piston ring. Is approximately proportional to the combustion gas pressure. Next is the wiper ring. A wiper ring is the piston ring. The wiper ring is the piston ring with a tapered face. Which is located in the ring groove in between the compression ring and the oil ring. The wiper ring is basically used to further seal the combustion chamber. The wiper ring is used to further seal the combustion chamber, and it is used to wipe the cylinder wall clean of excess oil, and to wipe the cylinder wall clean of the excess oil. The combustion gases that passes the compression ring, are stopped by the wiper ring. So these are the uses of the wiper ring. Next is oil ring. An oil ring is the piston ring. Oil ring is the piston ring which is located in the ring rope and closest to the crankcase. The oil ring is used to wipe the excess oil from the cylinder wall during the piston's movement, and the excess oil is returned through the ring opening to the oil reservoir in the engine block. In two-stroke cycle, engine do not require oil ring. In the two-stroke cycle, engine do not require the oil ring because lubrication is supplied by mixing of the oil in the gasoline, and the oil reservoir is not required. Now coming to the piston rings joint. The gap of the piston ring compresses to a few thousandths of an inch when inside the cylinder bore, and the gap in between the piston ring are called as the butt gap. The ring gap or the butt gap shapes are different, like butt cut, step cut, angle cut, strip seal cut, short seal cut, hook type cut, and the tri-lap seal cut. So as you can see in this picture, this one is the step cut. A good bidirectional seal bidirectional seal for the many sealing process. This type of cut is known as the step cut for the piston ring. Here is the butt cut. These are often used for automotive seals and the application where some of the leakage is acceptable in this case. So this kind of gap or cut, this is the cut is called as the butt cut, which is the used to join the piston ring. Nearly another is the angle cut, which is used for the steam application. This one is the Sarcel cut gap. An excellent bidirectional seal cell and excellent bidirectional seal shell on two surfaces often used when leakage is a critical. So Sarcel, an excellent bidirectional seal cell on two surfaces often used when leakage is a critical. Next one is the step cell, a ring which seal is one direction and has very good sealing quality. Up is stamped on the pressurized side of the ring. So these are the known as the step cell. Next one is the trilap cell seal. The seals on three surfaces, so 1, 2 and 3. So this ring is an excellent shield for the hydraulic, pneumatic and the steam application, and it keeps leakage to the absolute minimum. So these are the trilap seal. And the last one is hook type seal, often used for the restriction for the blind installation. So basically there are the 7 type of piston ring joints are there. Next is arrangement of the piston ring. The piston ring required in a 4-stroke engine is different as the piston liner assembly is open to the sun. Hence, oil scraper ring are additionally needed. Hence, oil scraper ring is additionally needed in the 4-stroke piston ring pack. It is typically consists of 2 to 5 rings depending upon the engine type and the specification. Usually 2 to 4 compression rings are provided to seal the gases from the combustion chamber, and 1 to 3 oil control rings are provided to access the avoid oil increase in the combustion chamber. So these are the picture of the 4-stroke piston ring. In 2-stroke engine, compression type piston rings are used to seal the combustion chamber, and the wiper rings are installed below them to wipe the deposits from the liner and distribute oil on the liner surface. So as you can see, this pictures. So these are the pictures of the 2-stroke piston rings. Now coming to the piston ring material. Piston rings are commonly made from the cast iron. Cast iron retains the integrity of its original shape under heat, load and the other dynamic forces. Piston rings seal the combustion chamber, conduct the heat from the piston to the cylinder wall and return oil to the crankcase. Piston ring size and configuration vary depending on the engine size and the cylinder material. Next is the piston pin. In internal combustion engine or the IC engine, the gudgeon pin which connect the piston to the connecting rod and it provides a bearing for a connecting rod to pivot upon as the piston moves. So this gudgeon pin is called in UK, and this gudgeon pin is also known as the wrist pin or the piston, which is called as in according to the US. So in this piston pin basically connects the piston and to the connecting rod to provide a bearing for the connecting rod to pivot upon as the piston moves. In very early engine design includes those driven by steam and many very large stationary or marine engines. The gudgeon pin is located in a sliding crosshead that connects to the piston via a rod. The gudgeon pin is the pivot or the journal. There are three methods of attaching the piston to the connecting rod. Those are anchor or the fixed pin. This is a picture of the anchor, the fixed pin. Second one is a semi-floating pin, and third one is a full floating pin. In case of anchor or the fixed pin, the wrist pin pivots freely within the little end of the connecting rod, and usually with the help of a bushing. The piston is locked to the pin using the screw that go through the pin bushes into the pin, and the method is used mostly in the industrial engine and never seen in the performance market unless perhaps as a rare vintage application. Next is the semi-floating pin. The pin is secured to the connecting through some form of friction. Then the piston pivots freely within the piston pin bushes. It's securing the pin to the rod, which is usually accomplished by the press fitting. The little end of the connecting rod is heated which expand the metal and the diameter of the hole. The piston is positioned over the rod and then the piston is pressed into the place. Another way to hold the pin to the rod is a kinch bolt connecting rod design. Here the small end is split, allowing the pin to be positioned, and then it is secured in place when the kinch bolt of the rod is tightened. And this design is pretty much exclusive to large industrial engine where there's enough room to get a wrench up inside the piston. Next one is the full floating pin. Here the pin pivots freely within both the little end of the connecting rod and the piston pin bushes, and the wrist pin is held in check and kept from the scratching the cylinder by one or two methods. Those are, first one is a spring loaded lock. A spring loaded lock on each side secure the pin between the pin bushes. Those are maybe spiral lock or circlip or round wear lock, etc. Second is a pair of buttons that take up the space between the pin and the cylinder wall and keeping the pin centered in the pin bushes. So these are the locking methods of the gudgeon pin and the connecting rod. Now coming to the material, the gudgeon piece is typically a forged short hollow rod which is made of the steel alloy of high strength and the harness that may be physically separated from both the connecting rod and the piston or the crosshead. The design of gudgeon pin, especially in case of the small, high revving automotive engine, is challenging. So students, Today we'll cover the pistons, uh, piston rings, we cover the piston ring, piston slab, piston clearance, various kind of piston materials, piston rings with their type and the function, their arrangement, then piston pins, types of pin and their material. So, and the next class will discuss on the another topic of this module. So, till then, stay at home and stay safe. Thank you. Thank you so much, students.